Typically, everyone's go-to Uber build is the Smiter, and for good reason. It's a build with guaranteed hits, it could be geared up with budget items and still be viable, and for many, it's just a very fun build to be able to use. I recently made an endgame version of an Uber Smiter build guide, so now it's time to try out the budget version and see how well it holds up to be able to collect a torch.
In today's video, I'm going to go over the build for
the budget Uber Smiter, a setup that is still quite cheap to build, but still all the same fun of the endgame version.
I'm going to go over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear for my character and my mercenary, and afterwards I'm going to show you guys some gameplay so you could see this build in action. But do keep in mind that when it comes to this build, there are different ways you can be able to gear the character depending on your needs, whether you're trying to go for maximum DPS, you're trying to do a magifying character, or a hybrid of the two. Just keep in mind when it comes to looking at the gear choices that I'm going to be choosing, that you can choose alternative gear depending on the demand that you have for your build. Now let's go ahead and get into the video.
For the attributes, there's enough strength to be able to equip the gear, enough points into dexterity to hit max block when using Holy Shield, and all the remaining points go into Vitality. For the skill trees, starting with the combat skills, Smite is maxed, as well as Holy Shield is maxed as it adds to Smite's damage. Then, for the offensive auras, I maxed Fanaticism to increase my IAS or increase attack speed, especially against Duriel who would have us slowed down with his Holy Freeze. Then for the defensive skills, I have 1 point into Defiance as it synergizes Holy Shield, 1 point down to Vigor to be able to get around faster. Then I split the remaining points into both Resist Fire and Resist Lightning to ensure that my resistances are over the normal capped limit to better my survivability in Uber Tristram. Something to remember is that this build is still only at level 76, and my priority for the setup has been for survivability, as I'd rather take a little bit longer to kill each of the minis and the Ubers in Tristram over having weaker resistances and potentially getting killed quickly, especially with just around 1300 health. So for those of you who would level this character up, the skill to invest in the upcoming skill points would be Defiance over adding more into the Resist Fire or Resist Lightning, until you can respec once you reach level 90 or so to keep the other two skill trees the same, but then to switch over to maxing Defiance, and lastly, adding the remaining points split between Resist Fire and Resist Lightning.
Now for the gear, when it comes to the concept of a budget build, keep in mind that the items being shown are based on if they are, or sometimes aren't, optimal for the build, despite the item's rarity. There's a reason that so many set and unique items, and even some being treasure class 87 items, never see the light of day aside from Grayling, while some magic and rare items are more optimal and ideal for a build, and sometimes even become mandatory. And on items with a variety of stats that can roll, remember that this is all based on RNG or random number generation, or even better, just dumb luck for certain items to drop, as well as how they can roll.
For the helm, I'm using a G-Face socketed with an IAS jewel, again, just to be able to prepare for Duriel, as he would potentially slow this build down, but it also has faster hit recovery, crushing blow, and strength. The amulet is High Lord's Wrath for the plus of skills, IAS or increased attack speed, again, to prepare to be slowed down by Duriel's Holy Freeze. But last but not least, it also has lightning resistance. The armor is the Runeward Smoke for the faster hit recovery, energy, and all resistance. The weapon is Heaven's Light, socketed with 2 shell runes. It has plus to paladin skills, increased attack speed, crushing blow, and life after each demon kill. The shield is the Spirit Runeward in a gilded shield, as the shield already had resistances on it before making the Runeward. It also has plus to skills, faster cast rate, help with blocking, enhanced damage and defense, vitality, mana, and all resistance. The boots are Gore Riders for the faster run walk, crushing blow, and open wounds. The first ring is Ravenfrost for the dexterity, and cannot be frozen. The belt is String of Ears for the physical damage reduction. The second ring is a rare dexterity, mana, and fire resistance ring. The gloves are Drax Gloves for the life tap proc, open wounds, strength, and life after each kill. On switch, I'm going to be using a teleport charge staff to be able to get around easier to find the mini Ubers, especially for Lilith. But once in Uber Tristram, I'm going to switch over to using a life tap charge wand to ensure having life tap on the Ubers to better my survivability before entering the fights. In the inventory is the cube, bolt tomes, treachery for the fade proc that hopefully will proc before running into Uber Tristram. Then I'll switch to smoke once it is proc to be able to boost my resistances, as well as to utilize fade's damage reduction. Then, once in Uber Tristram, I'll use T-Gods for the lightning absorb against Mephisto, and switch back to using String of Ears for Diablo and Baal for the damage reduction. The small charms are all a mix of life and resistance small charms. For the additional stats, he has 95% increased attack speed, again for Duriel specifically. He also has 39% faster run walk, which will be sped up when using Vigor, 35% open wounds, 83% crushing blow, and 20 to life after each demon kill.
Let's go ahead and check out this build in action to see how well it actually plays out. With the gameplay, For anyone who'd be curious as to which player settings I'm using for my build guides, the past, presently on screen, and in the future, down in the bottom left corner is what the example gameplay being shown is currently at.
How may I be of help?
My brothers will not have died in vain.
This build did quite well, even on a budget setup. However, it is even faster and safer with an endgame setup. So for any of you guys that want to check it out with endgame gear, make sure to check out my video going over an endgame Uber Smiter build. A build that goes in shield swinging, one that takes on the task of getting a torch with no issues at all, and is one of the most OP builds in the entire game. Video will be linked down in the description below.
And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to see if this build would be something that you would be interested in going into the future, and if anything, at least just enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on, man. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.